as we got the 3-1 count going.
Be interesting to see what Coach Brian Campbell calls. Does he go for the fastball as per convention or breaking ball, which has been working tonight for O'Brien?
Only one way to find out. Breaking ball slugged high into center field. Under it, and Nick O'Brien gets himself out of a bases-loaded jam early on. Impressive pitching. We go into the bottom of the first. Thank you for joining us on Brainwash Sports Twitch TV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the North Broward Preparatory School here in Coconut Creek, Florida. Sam Gelfand, the voice of the Eagles, alongside my good friend and broadcast colleague Ben Curtis, as always, as we go into the bottom of the first here in this game between the Belen Jesuit Wolverines and the North Broward Eagles. Ty Marsh will start things off for North Broward, but I'd like to talk about the previous half inning, actually, to start things off. You want to take this, Ben?
And so much to talk about, too. Nick O'Brien, only a sophomore, but absolute fantastic maturity shown by the underclassmen. He got into a bit of trouble. By a bit of trouble, I mean a lot of trouble. Bases loaded, nobody outs. He couldn't buy a strike. He had given up 2 walks and a laser of a double to John Bardich, and things were looking very bleak for him. But he's able to rebound, he calms himself down, he throws strikes, and he's able to get out of it without giving up a run. Fantastic pitching from Nick O'Brien, and that's going to be the kinds of things that earns him more starts in the future.
Absolutely. At the major league level, you see performances like that, getting out of a bases-loaded jam with nobody out. You see that getting promotions to more and more appearances, even consideration for starting spots. You have to imagine what wonders that might do for O'Brien, even though it's a little early in this game.
And Raul Kennard's a senior this year, Sam, which means that North Broward's going to have a hole in their starting rotation, which could very well be filled by O'Brien. I liked what I saw in the second half of that inning.
The 2-1 to Marsh is low. It's 3-1 now. The pitcher for the Wolverines is number 7, Danny Brown. Wearing the high socks. Always appreciate seeing some high socks. Most of the Wolverines are wearing high socks. Swing and a miss. Now it's a full count.
O'Brien's had a very good season thus far. 1.94 ERA. Leads the team in whip. 0.94, less than 1 whip. Always a good sign for a pitcher. 20 strikeouts as well. That's second on the Wolverine staff.
Here's the full count. And he hits one on the ground to the second baseman, scoops it up, throws it over to first. Easy out. That'll bring up Edwards. Edwards, North Broward speed demon. Now batting in the 2 hole.
It looks like that's how it's going to be for the remainder of the year, Sam. Brian Campbell is flip-flopping Ty Marsh and Xavier Edwards for much of the beginning part of this year, but it looks like Marsh Edwards is going to be the way it is for the remainder of the season.
Do you think it's a smart move by Coach Brian Campbell?
I do, if only because it appears as though Marsh is a more mature hitter. He is a senior, while Edwards is only a junior. So Marsh, knows how to take pitches. He knows how to read the pitcher.
That one is high and way out of bounds, and I'd like to bring up a point to maybe justify it.
Please do.
Part of the reason why people say that Roger Maris had 61 home runs,
we're going way back,
is because he was batting right before Mickey Mantle, so he got better pitches. So it's entirely possible that Ty Marsh might get better things to hit, as that one is flied out to the left fielder, bringing up Zach Goberville, just because Edwards is behind him. So perhaps that's the rationale, and that Ty Marsh gets better pitches to hit, and North Broward gets to start off the games a little stronger.
Zach Goberville now. Good to see him back in the lineup after he missed that game against Boca High a little while ago.
Takes one out of the box, 1-0.
What a phenomenal batting average. When you look at it across the board, he's got impressive stats. 482 he is batting on the year. He's got a home run. He's got 9 RBIs, which is second on the team. He's really been a force to be reckoned with for the Eagles thus far. Great addition to this team.
The second left-handed batter that Browns faced in a row as he finds a strike. North Broward, not really a team filled with lefties, but a team that does have a couple of switch hitters.
And it's good to see Edwards and Goberville, the back-to-back lefties, and perhaps that's another reason why Brian Campbell decides to put Edwards in the second spot, make these pitchers see a couple left-handed hitters in a row. Not very often that you see them in high school baseball.
Controversial strike there called, at least according to the bleachers. There's 2 outs, and here comes the 1-2. The outside of the plate just scraped the corner, so that's going to be 2-2 now.
Keep that in mind for future reference. That outside to lefties, inside to righties has not been working all game, Sam.
And here it comes. Once again, just outside, trying to get Goberville to chase something here. However, Goberville, as we've seen, a rather patient hitter. Don't think he's going to fall for it. He's worked a full count.
Nothing new from Zach Goberville working full counts.
Swing and a miss, and the bat goes flying out of his hands. That's going to be the end of the inning, and that's going to give Goberville something to think about back in the dugout. We'll be right back with the top of the second on that punctuation note. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Punctuation mark is what I should have said at the end of the break. Punctuation mark. Saying it again so I can dub it in later. Now batting is number 4, Gabriel Desendegi, who gets the hardest name to say award in this game.
He also has one of the most dangerous men on the base paths award, tied for the lead with 3 stolen bases for the Wolverines.
Excellent segue.
I'm very proud of that one, Sam.
You should be. Here's the pitch. O'Brien finds a strike zone, 0-1. O'Brien got himself out of a fantastic bases-loaded no-out jam in the first inning. As that one's hit on the ground towards Edwards, the shortstop picks it up, hurls it over across the diamond, and gets the out.
Stepping up to bat, number 1, Armando Albert.
So you heard me. Albert is now the batter.
Edwards, always such a pleasure to watch over at shortstop. He's so smooth. Fantastic mechanics.
As we discuss every time, he's heading to Vanderbilt.
Worth discussing every time. It's a baseball factory.
It is, and that's exactly what you call it every time. Lays down the bunt, but it goes foul.
Call it that every time because that's what it is.
It is, really.
Of course, the college baseball season underway. My Gators have to deal without a couple of key players from last year, although one of my favorite Gators of all time, J.J. Schwartz, is back.
And how about the college basketball tournament going on right now? The Final Four, that one's fouled off towards us, but luckily there's a backstop.
And a game for the ages, really, between North Carolina and Kentucky. That was just last night. Wow, Luke May hitting the 2-pointer jumper with about 0.3 of a second to go. Kept my bracket alive.
0.00003%, I believe, of brackets are currently valid. I doubt we're going to see that number stay the same in the next couple games. Here's the pitch. The 0-2 fouled off once again towards us. That made a dent in the backstop.
It did, and I hate to correct you, Sam, but actually there are no perfect brackets left. That number that you saw, that 657 out of almost 19 million brackets, the .000, however many 03s, is for those people who correctly picked all Final Four teams, not even the perfect bracket. There are no perfect brackets left on ESPN.
That one is hit high, foul. Is anyone going to get it? No, it's beyond the fence. And statistically, it's pretty improbable that anyone will ever fill out a perfect bracket.
The number is 1 in the quintillion, Sam. I don't know the exact statistic off the top of my head, but I remember Warren Buffett a couple years ago was offering $1 billion if anybody could get perfectly. Obviously, nobody did.
Quintillion, I believe, is in the 5 sets of 3
That's correct.
zeros. That's a lot. 1-2, controversial call. There's one out now. As Desendegi grounded out to short. O'Brien fires. And that one's hit towards the left fielder, who's going to field it on a bounce. And Albert's going to have himself a base knock.
Now batting, number 9, Marcus Diaz.
For some reason, it's much more fun to call it a base knock rather than a base hit. Couldn't tell you why.
Yeah, like that's only terminology used by people who still play pepper.
Well, it's more colloquial.
It is. I like it, though.
I like it, too. That's why I use it.
There you
So
go.
there's one out and a runner on first now for the pitcher, Nick O'Brien, and the batter, Marcus Diaz. We thank you for joining us on this broadcast of Brainwash Sports, North Broward Baseball. Finds a ball low in the strike zone. Well, low, below the strike zone, really.
Diaz, a .259 hitter so far. Got 1 RBI to show for himself, although does not have a home run.
Pickoff attempt is unsuccessful.
4 home runs so far on the year for the Wolverines. 2 from Vasquez, as well as 1 from Torres, and 1 from Hernandez, as you mentioned earlier.
O'Brien sets up. Delivers large lead. Finds a strike. Ooze coming from the Wolverine dugout, but remember, it's not where the ball finishes, it's about where it crosses the plate. And on a breaking ball like that, it's going to cross the plate just in the strike zone and take a large dip.
And O'Brien has always had late break. That's been one of his staples.